it's Reagan, and today I'm back with another fall themed video. I am doing an annual tag I always love to do, and I always like to change up the books I feature, and that is the Finally Fall book tag. This is a tag that celebrates the fact that yes, as the name implies, it is finally fall, and I'm excited about it. I will leave all the questions and creator information down below, but without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. First question is, in fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a very vivid setting. So I have to go with The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This is an incredibly rich and atmospheric fantasy novel set in medieval Russia. I do have a soft spot for fantasy novels set in medieval Russia, but this particular story, I feel like Katherine Arden is able to capture the feeling of cold in a way that I can't even describe. I felt like I could feel it to my inner core. She has a way with writing settings and atmosphere and weather that I just felt like this was a no-brainer to pick for this novel, because this is a book that truly transports you. The next question is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Ugh. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. I feel like I have to take a moment and use this question as an opportunity to plug probably one of my favorite books of all time, and that is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This is obviously a very famous novel, but I felt like it was also apt to mention as Markus Zusak's new book is actually coming out really soon, which I am so excited for. But yes, The Book Thief is just one of the most beautifully written novels of all time. It is a New York Times best-selling novel. People say it is a classic. It is just a beautiful novel that will just leave you breathless and speechless and cry, honestly. This is a World War II story following a young German girl and her experience with German occupation. This novel is called The Book Thief because she begins to steal books during the story. It is just honestly incredible. It's just a beautiful novel. The movie's great. It will move you. It's astounding. It's just, I'm running out of adjectives just to say that this book is amazing, okay? The third question is, fall is the back to school season. Name a nonfiction novel that has taught you something. So the book I'm gonna talk about is a very recent purchase for me. I have started it, I have not finished it yet, but it is my newest nonfiction read, so I wanted to mention it. And that is Red Notice by Bill Browder, and this is a true story of high finance, murder, and a man's fight for justice. And so far, it is so good. I feel like it's pretty well known that I love Russian history, but there's a particular time period in Russian history that I really think is interesting, and I haven't read a lot of stuff about it. And that time period is the 1990s, specifically right after communism falls. And this is a nonfiction novel following a true story of like capital investment and all sorts of financial history, but there's also just a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. It is a thriller about an American-born financier in the wild east of Russia, the murder of its principled young attorney, and the dangerous mission to expose the people responsible in the Kremlin. I mean, it just sounds like a wild time, and I can't believe it's a true story. My coworker actually recommended this book to me, and I'm excited to pick it up because it covers a lot of my favorite topics. The next question is, in order to keep warm, it is good to spend time with people you love. Name a fictional family or household that you wish or want to be a part of. I naturally want to say the Weasleys, but I won't for the sake of trying to spice things up a bit. So instead, I'm going with the family from Save the Date. I don't know, this is just a contemporary story, and family, like, they're not perfect, but there's just huge family. They're all really close. They grew up in this big house in New England area, and it just sounds really just fun. I don't know, like full of mayhem. I also just feel like Morgan Matson really portrayed this family in such a natural and real life likeness. Like, they weren't too perfect, but they were also perfect enough that you wanted to be like friends with everyone. I don't know, I feel like it would just be such a fun time to be a part of this family. I could be like the youngest sibling, or I probably would. I'd be like the middle sibling. I'm interested. Okay, I'm interested. The next question is, fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireplace. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. So for this, I am going with The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. It's no secret I love this book on my channel, but I'm picking it because the format of the story is Kvoth, our main character, essentially recounting his life story to a chronicler. So we are told this story from like current time, so we're learning about the past from future Kavoth, which is a really interesting element in terms of storytelling, because obviously it's going to color some of his opinions as he's encountering things. Also, while you're learning about the past, you're always curious about how this is impacting future Kavoth, the Kavoth that is telling the story. Did that make sense? Were you able to follow it? It's so good, and I love Kavoth, and I want the third book. Please, please, why? Next up is Nights Are Getting Darker, name a dark and creepy read. I'm going with The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. This is a very, very atmospheric witch-centered novel. It follows our main character, Nor, who just lives a very unremarkable life. She just wants a normal life, but then this mysterious black book shows up, and magic and death and destruction seem to follow it. This is a book that is like honestly scary and full of a lot of murder in a way that I truly was not expecting going into it. It got my heart rate up a bit, and I had a hard time sleeping after reading some scenes of this novel, but I just feel like this is a perfect fall read. It's creepy, it's dark, it's very Halloween-y, and it has some dark magic going on in here. Next up is The Days Are Getting Colder, name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. So fun fact about me, I don't read a lot of short, heartwarming novels. I read a lot of long fantasy, but so my recommendation kind of works, but kind of doesn't. Going with The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is not short, but in my opinion, it is heartwarming. We follow such a lovable cast and characters. This is by no means a fluffy, point read, but it's just full of so many lovable characters going through so much that you just want to hug them the entire time. This follows our main character, Monty, who is about to embark on his gentleman tour of Europe, which is a very common thing to happen back in the day in the 17th and 18th century. He's going on it with his best friend, but there's only one problem. He's in love with his best friend. So there begins a story full of antics and humor and fun and romance, and when a magical twist gets thrown in, it's awesome. It's literally just a book that will just have you flying through the pages, smiling like an idiot, and makes you feel happy in your heart. It's so great and funny, and I love it. Next up is Fall Luckily Returns Every Year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. So for this question, I actually have two selections. One of them is an obvious one, and that is Harry Potter, an illustrated edition reread. I haven't read a Harry Potter book in over a year now. They're not releasing the fourth book of this until next year due to its enormous size. So I really want to try to reread either 1, 2, or 3 of the illustrated editions. They're just so much fun and beautiful, and I just love reading them. They're just incredible. So I really want to try to get to one of these this fall. And then the next book I really want to try to reread this season is Vicious by Victoria Schwab. This is one of my favorite books ever. It's been about 3-4 years now since I've actually read it, and with the second book coming out, it's one that I feel like I need to revisit. This is a very, very dark story about two best friends turned arch nemesis as their academic pursuits to understand how people can get supernatural powers results in them getting supernatural powers and then trying to kill each other. It's dark, it's amazing, I want to reread it. And the very, very last question is, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. So my accessories from season to season might not change too much, but I'll share them anyway. The first one is very seasonally appropriate. Hold on. It's a fall anthropology candle. This one smells like pumpkin spice, and I love it so much. These are the best candles, by the way. They last forever, literally a whole month. And lastly, I just have a bunch of cozy blankets and pillows. These are all I need. These are all of the items I need to have a great reading time. So they'll go right here because I'll need them a little later. Alrighty guys, that is the finally fall book tag. Let me know down below some favorite fall things that you guys have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.